They looked at Reggie Carthon's left knee and his ankle, but he's being carried off, which is bad news for BC Lion fans. This is Reggie Carthon right here. He breaks up on Travis Moore, and just as he slips there, he goes down, grabbed that left leg immediately. Initially, I thought he grabbed his knee, but they did check out both his ankle and his knee while he was down on the field. And when you get carried off like that, obviously not good news. We'll have to try and patch up that secondary with Carthon out of it.
The Stampeders picked up 6 on the play, 2nd and 4. Brock Preston, first down and more inside the 20-yard line. The Stamps have been deep before in this game, and they've come away empty-handed. Now they're inside the 20 one more time, the red zone, and they're looking to capitalize.
Watch a good slide blocking here. Watch Ron Meyer. Rocco Romano kicks out. A good cut at the point of attack by Rock Preston to go back to the hole. That's pretty good vision from your tailback, your backup tailback.
The rookie out of Florida State gets a first down from the 19. Dickinson goes to Preston again. He's become the go-to man. Spins off of one tackle, but Paul Lacoste is there to make sure he doesn't get any further.
Sorry, Dave. Alan Pitts was open again to the out pattern, and we mentioned that he broke the record this year. This was the game against the Edmonton Eskimos. Nothing fancy about this one. Alan Pitts to the sideline. He went on and had a touchdown in that football game. Calgary won it. That was the play that put Alan Pitts over the top and made him the all-time leading receiver in CFL history past Ray Elgart.
Pitts had a touchdown catch last week in Regina, but he's been kind of openly vocal about the fact that the Stamps have not been coming to him in this situation. Dickinson, nobody to get to, and he's dropped. Johnny Scott.
In fairness to, offensively, George Cortez and Dave Dickinson, when it comes to getting Alan Pitts the ball in the red zone, sometimes down there, Alan Pitts is double covered. And if I'm playing defense, I'm putting 2 guys on number 18 when you're in the scoring range.
Maybe 3.
Yeah. So when you're double covered, you just don't go there. Now on this play, Pitts is on Dale Joseph, and I've felt all year that Dale Joseph is one of the best cover guys in the game. So, he had a little bit of traffic in there, and Dave Dickinson had nowhere to go with the football.
It's a 26-yard attempt for Mark McLaughlin. Trying to add 3 more points, and this time he is good. So finally, we have some more points on the board, and it's 11-0 Calgary.
They're big points for a couple reasons. One, obviously, they make the lead an 11-point lead. But the bigger thing, the bigger story to me in this situation is that they did it against the wind. They've moved the football. They've had the football the whole time. And in the fourth quarter, the long quarter, Calgary Stampeders are now going to have the wind at their backs. And that's a pretty stiff wind to be kicking into. So, they're making plays. They're moving the football, and they're controlling the game when they have the wind in their face in the third.
7 out of the last 9 years, Wally Buono and the Calgary Stampeders have finished first in the Western Division. If they lose this game today, it's over. The BC Lions have first. They will host the West Final. If the Stampeders win it, they keep their hopes alive. They will tie them for wins and losses, but remember, BC has the tiebreaker there, so they would have to beat them outright in the win category.
Right, and basically it's 1 win for the BC Lions and a loss along the way for Calgary, and that's it. The Lions take first. It doesn't have to be this game, because they do have that series. When you look at the last 2 weeks of the season, Calgary plays Montreal, and then they go to Hamilton and have to play in Hamilton. BC in the last 2 weeks play at home against Saskatchewan and at home against Hamilton. So the schedule favors the Lions in some ways. That's no slight against Hamilton.
McLaughlin puts it in the air. Taken by the Jet. Jimmy the Jet, don't let him get going. A few teams have let him get away, and he's burned them big time, but so far the Jet has been neutralized. Here is the look graphically at the fight for first in the West.
Yeah, Stampeders will get let's say they get the win here, and I'm certainly not giving it to them with a quarter and a bit to play, but you get Stampeders, they move to 22 points. Now they have to outright beat the Lions in the standings. There's the schedule remaining. So the Lions have the 2 home games. Hamilton, Saskatchewan. BC, of course, leads the series. That means that the Stampeders have to win in the standings in points. They can't tie.
First and foremost, the BC Lions got to start moving this football. Another swing pass to Jimmy the Jet. He's close to a first down. Now, of course, first place in the West and hosting that Western Division final, nobody knows better than the Calgary Stampeders. That doesn't always mean a straight path to the Grey Cup. Only 3 Western Division champs since '87 have gone on to the Grey Cup. Each time it has been Calgary, and they've only won 2 of them in '98 and '92. The last time BC won the West was way back in 1987. They went 12-6 that year and lost to Edmonton in the Western Final 31-7. Here's Allen. He's got Drummond.
David Allen passes complete for Robert Drummond, number 29.
That was just a play to try and change things up, but the Calgary defense wasn't fooled. When you're second in the yard and you pull it out of there, you're expecting the Calgary defense to think run all the way and get caught with a little play action. Didn't work, and Damon Allen just barely got it out to get the first down.
It's their first down here in the third quarter. Something for them to build on. Nobody in the backfield. Allen sprints out to his right, and he's going to keep sprinting. He's got the first down across the 50, close to the 45.
Just want to make a point in this drive to start to get this first down in the third. They started it out with a little hitch pass out there to the Jet. The progression off the hitch pass is to fake it and go deep with it. So we'll watch for that as the fourth quarter is around the corner. Try and get the Jet the ball in a couple of hitch passes, then pump it to him and throw it deep to the other receivers, Alfred Jackson and Rod Harris.
First and 10 from the 47. Allen with 3 to the far side. And there's all kinds of heat, led by number 93, the rookie Mark Pilon.
Damon Allen audibled at the line of scrimmage. When he did, Jimmy the Jet heard the audible, turned outside to tell Alfred Jackson, the wide receiver, what the new play was. When he did that, the ball was snapped, and he had his back to the ball. See, the Jet's over here. Now, he's got his back to Damon Allen. See, Damon Allen looks over there, and the Jet's not looking at him.
And Allen's in trouble again. Wrapped up right back at the line of scrimmage by the rookie, Kevin Johnson. And that drive is over. The Calgary defense making another statement here in the late stages of the third quarter.
Kevin Johnson really having to step up his game with Alonja Johnson out of the lineup. When you're playing middle linebacker against Damon Allen, you oftentimes will be told that you're the spy. You take your job, but you never take your eyes off the quarterback. He flew up there and made the tackle.
And Louis kicks it into the end zone. And out. So that's where the Stampeders will start. They'll get good field position right off the bat.
Yes, no. Canadian. No. Business. Yes, yes. Cleveland. 5 days. No, no. Yes, yes, no.
The BC Lions cheerleaders made the trip for this one. The Lions have finally gotten on the board. They'll take it any way they can get it at this stage.
See, that's the rivalry. Even the cheerleaders are competing.
Dickinson on play action from the 35. After the single by Louis Passagle, he was looking for Pitts. And it'll be 2nd and 10. Yeah, you know when the cheerleaders are getting into the rivalry. That's a rivalry right there.
Yeah. They didn't go to the press conference either.
No, I think they held separate press conferences.
The cheerleaders had held separate press conferences.
They would not.
They didn't want to
cooperate.
And now they're just competing every break.
So 2nd and 10. The BC Lions looking for their defense to hold one more time. Here comes some pressure. Dickinson gets away and throws it away because Herman Smith was after him. All kinds of heat coming.
And David Benefield. And you know what? David Benefield is having a year, and I don't care what people say. David Benefield, to me, is got to be coming out of the West. He comes off the edge. Now, he's not going to be blocked by scheme on this play. Dickinson gets outside, but he has forced Dickinson to throw the ball away about 4 times in this game. He doesn't have the sack, but he is forcing the issue with Dickinson on a lot of plays.
And before this game, David Benefield was very vocal in a lot of the old trash talking, calling Wally Bono arrogant. The Jet is driven back by that booming punt, and he's bringing it back. A 51-yarder from Tony Martino. The Jet did well just to get it back to where he caught it. And that is the end of the third quarter. It's 11-1 Stampeders. Let's send you back to Toronto. Here's James Duffy.
You're watching the CFL Live, and we're at the quarter. Brought to you by Toyota Canada and its dealers.
Well, if the Stamps defense keeps this up, then the loss of Calvin Anderson won't matter at all in the fourth quarter. But the guy is a CFL Outstanding Player candidate, and you know, especially when you need to run the ball in the fourth quarter, you need a guy like that. How big a loss is it, Chris?
Well, it will be a huge loss if the ankle injury is something significant over the period of time, because this is late October going into November. Rock Preston is a very capable substitute, was competing with Calvin Anderson directly for that starting position. They stayed with Anderson. But I'll tell you what, I have to make a comment on the playing service at this stadium. It's ridiculous. I think of Henry Burris. I think of Eddie Davis. I'm not mistaken, non-contact injuries. I think of Glenn Young for Toronto, who ended his year on a non-contact injury. It goes on and on and on, the number of players. Through redirection, we just saw it with Reggie Carthon, either have their knee injured, the cartilage, the MCL, the ACL. I think it's ridiculous. This turf is going to be here for another 10 years, Matt, and I know you agree with me. Why can't we have grass playing surfaces?
Well, yeah, it's
awesome.
Difficult keeping conditioned up here, though, late in the season. But I think we're speaking about turf in general,
yes,
aren't you, Chris?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's tough, and it's tough to go out that way. But look what's happening to BC right now. They're fixing to have to go against the wind. They're down 11-1. We saw a low-scoring game back August 5th of this season. It was 13-9 BC. They're going to have to really step up big. I look for their defense to have to come up for some points, because their offense right now is null and void.
All right, one other game in the CFL this afternoon. The Hamilton Tiger Cats taking on Saskatchewan. Hamilton leads it by 1 point. Paul McCallum has a 58-yard field goal, but Ronald Williams has his 12th TD of the season. That leads the league. Let's get back to Calgary.
Wally Bono has a 10-point lead heading into the fourth quarter. His team will be working with the wind, which right now has kind of died down.
Yeah, it has died, and usually the home team knows that. Usually the home team knows how the wind is going to go, and the flags were... They've dropped a little bit.
That's local knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So now David Allen will begin going into that wind, if there is any. A 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Eddie Brown, following his block, picks up a 1st down.
Well, here's what happens. Shad Chris comes from the secondary blitz, and when he does, he vacates the area that Eddie Brown's going to catch the football. See, he's covering. You're going to see Shad Chris flash from this side of the screen. When David Allen recognizes it, see, there's 28 coming. Now, see, there's no one out there. 28 should be over here. He's not there. See, so now Eddie Brown has a lot of room before Coleman can finally force him out with the help of Greg Frères.
There's a bad snap picked up by Robert Drummond. And Drummond gets back to the line of scrimmage after what was looking like a disaster for the BC Lions.
Whoa, heads up by Robert Drummond. I mean, big time, and then got a yard out of it, I believe.
Yeah. They've gotten a lot of breaks. You know, they've had some breakdowns offensively. I think of 2 fumbles that they recovered in the first half. There they are on 2nd and 8. Allen being chased by Jeff Travers. He gets away, but he is going to be short of the 1st down. And once again, the Lions stall in their end of the field.
Yeah, they haven't looked real sharp. And you talked about a couple of breaks they've had. They fumbled the ball a couple times, recovered it on their own. Robert Drummond on that first play somehow got the ball back, but they haven't been real sharp. But this has been the story sometimes this year for the BC Lions. They stick around and then win it somehow. And that's why they've won 11 games this year.
Yeah, they have won some that they really didn't have a whole lot of right to win. I'm sure people in Edmonton will say last week was one of those games. The Edmonton Eskimos took a lot of bad penalties and handed one to the Lions in overtime. But this one's got 13:51 to go. It's 11-1. Actually been a thriller, but as far as they're concerned, their team is up by 10, and they've got the football at their own 29-yard line. With the wind at their back, Dickinson. Handoff goes to Rock Preston. And here are the numbers after the third quarter of play, brought to you by Castrol GTX. Drive hard.
That's the biggest one in my mind right there. Calgary, 10 minutes more of time of possession, and that BC defense that's on the field right now starts to get a little more tired.
Not to mention just 120 yards offense from the BC Lions, 180 less than Calgary.
When you get tired, you miss tackles and you miss assignments.
On second down, Dickinson. Somebody missed an assignment or missed a route there.
Well, you know, I guess it could work the other way too. Calgary's offense has been on the field a lot more than the BC Lions, and maybe they're a little tired because that time Travis Moore zigged and Dickinson thought he was zagging.
We mentioned 31,258. That's the attendance here at McMahon Stadium. 7 out of 8 games so far here in Calgary have been over 30,000. They're hoping for a big crowd in Vancouver for the Grey Cup. If you are interested in going, there are the numbers in Vancouver and across the country.
You know what? Write that number down if you're in Vancouver, because even if Calgary's in the Grey Cup, a lot of the fans that are here, and they've been great fans this year, are going to make the trip.
Jimmy the Jet buried inside the 35. Damon Allen needs something right here, right now.
A 46-yard kick for...
Welcome to our TSN Newsroom, everybody. I'm Teresa Cruz. We've got hockey news for you because TSN has learned that the Ottawa Senators have signed unrestricted free agent Joe Juneau to a contract. According to Juneau's agent, it's a one-year deal for $1.17 million with an option for a second year. The Senators have not yet confirmed the signing. Juneau scored 15 goals and 28 assists last season with the Capitals and Sabres. He could be ready to join the Senators for their game Thursday against Calgary. With Daniel Alfredson out 8 to 10 weeks, they could use the help right now. The early edition of Sports Desk is coming up right after football. Our crew in Atlanta will join us live with a preview of Game 2 of the World Series. And we'll see how the Dolphins did without their main man, Dan Marino. Sports Desk coming your way at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific time. And in the NFL, Deion Sanders suffered a mild concussion against the Redskins, but he did return to the game. The Cowboys won it 38-20. Back to Calgary right after
Football.
I wouldn't be surprised to see if offensive coordinator Joe Powell started to stretch this Calgary defense a little bit in this fourth quarter, because the BC Lion receiving core right now have really been ineffective. Don Blair does not have a catch. Neither does Rod Harris. Jimmy the Jet has 1 catch. Alfred Jackson has 1 catch. At a certain time in the football game, you got to stretch the defense, send those guys deep and throw it up, see if they can make a play for it.
The Calgary defense has also burned Allen twice for 2 interceptions today. A little pump fake. Now he's going to stretch it. There he goes. There's the pass. He was looking for Rod Harris. There was double coverage, and the pass was long, and he's lucky it was.
Okay, remember when Jimmy the Jet ran that little screen pass? And I said the progression of the screen pass is to do this. Fake it, and then have this guy go deep. See, now this is what they're going to see. The fake it, this time it's the Brown. See, he puts up his hand saying, I'm not catching the ball, we're just trying to get you. Greg Frères wasn't fooled, though. He's the safety. He played the deep one first, which is exactly what the way he should play it.
Greg Frères, former BC Lion, having a great season at the safety position for the Stamps. 2nd and 10 from their own 34. Allen pulls it down again. He's not going to get away.
You know, and the BC Lion fans at home right now are likely getting all over Damon Allen, and, you know, why isn't he throwing the football? But Damon Allen cannot find someone downfield, and he will not force it. That's why he's been so good this year. He doesn't make bad decisions. He'd rather punt the football than throw it away. And I mentioned the receiving core for the BC Lions. Right now, they're not getting open in consistent bases, and if you're not giving your quarterback a target, he can't do it all by himself.
Well, earlier, Tony Martino had a huge punt into the wind. That one is not as huge for Louis Pasaglia. Marvin Coleman from his own 40. Doesn't get much, a 36-yard punt from Lou, and there was a flag on that play as well. Marvin Coleman has an interception today.
35-yard kick, but there's a flag over there.
Holding, Calgary number 33, first down.
Well, Wally Buono, we talked about all the controversy leading up to this ball game. There was all kinds of talk, and Wally Buono was a little upset that Greg Mons wouldn't join him for a pregame press conference, and this is what he had to say about it.
From my perspective, I'd like to see it as a league-wide mandate that you have to do it. You know, I understand sometimes there's the logistics of, you know, of travel and all that, but, you know, many a time myself and Ron Rook have gone into a city the night before so that we could be involved in a dual press conference. And, you know, that's my personal feeling, whether it's right or wrong. I believe that, and I think I've extended myself to go beyond that.
Ron Rook is the VP of Marketing and Media Relations. That's who he mentioned. And Greg Mons simply said, listen, since I've taken over as head coach of the BC Lions, I haven't lost to Wally, and we haven't had a press conference together yet, so why would I change anything? You know, and Wally's over there saying, well, I think it should be a league-wide mandated issue. But, you know, when it's all said and done, it really doesn't matter.
I know. It's, you know,
it's just a fun deal.
Exactly.
And I think, you know what, I think even both head coaches had some fun with the media, the media were just going crazy about this whole thing, thinking that this was just another way of kind of snubbing each other in the media conference. And I think both coaches were kind of laughing afterwards, saying, well, we stirred it up a little bit heading into this one. And
it's all about a little bit of hype. There's no question about it. And there has been some and a lot of talk on both sides, although the coaches have really kind of minded their P's and Q's heading into this one. They haven't provided any bulletin board material, really.
Well, you know what, though? Wally Buono says that this not beating Greg Mons doesn't matter to him. Wally Buono is a competitor.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm telling you, I bet it matters. I mean, it can't not matter.
Well, right now they're in the driver's seat with a 10-point lead, and BC's offense basically ineffective to this point with 11 minutes to go.
Yeah, you really do almost get the feeling that if they're going to win this game, I'm talking about the Lions, they're going to have to do it with the play on defense. You know, and Joe Paopao is going to try and figure out a way to get his offensive receivers open. Because right now they're struggling.
And this is a 2nd and 10 situation for Dickinson from his 32. Stands in that pocket and delivers to Alan Pitts, short of the first down.
Well, it depends on where they mark, and he's going to get his forward progress. See, he's complaining right now. He doesn't like the spot. It's that close. See, when you turn around on your curl like Alan Pitts did, you want to get the ball. See, watch this. He's going to turn around right at the marker, and when he turns around at the marker, he wants to get the progress right to where he catches it right there. Now, he had to take a step. That's right in front of the 40-yard strike. The marker is right on the 41. And that's what he was arguing about. And they marked it back. Excuse me, the marker was on the 42. They marked it back around the 41, so they're a yard short. And Alan Pitts thinks he got jobbed a little bit on that spot.
He did not get the call, and Dickinson has left the game. Mike McCoy has come in at quarterback for the Stamps. 3rd and 1. That's why Dickinson goes out of the game. They don't want him making plays like that.
Yeah, McCoy's a little bit bigger, too.
Yeah. And Dickinson has taken enough hits over the course of this season. Here he comes back out.
Well, actually, I should say McCoy's a lot bigger. 6'3", 205 pounds, 210 pounds. Dave Dickinson at 5'11", 185. So you give it to the bigger guy. He takes that sneak, and you save one hit on the quarterback.
Done a great job, by the way. Coming in here for the Calgary Stampeders after Dickinson went down, and then Henry Burris went down. Here's Dickinson, a lot of time to throw the ball. Marcus Dowdell, his first catch of the ball game. Haven't seen number 8 so far. He gets involved here in the fourth quarter.
Well, they're optimistic here in Calgary about their stretch drive and possibly still having a chance at first place, because offensively they got a couple of guys in the season that should help them on the line. I'm talking about Thomas Raham and, of course, the big chill, Fred Childress. After his tryout in the States didn't work out for him, he's back, and they're playing on the same side together. So when they see that much